do we need to build the capabilities? Obviously it's interesting to me because I work in healthcare communications. Do we need to just build the scientific knowledge, or actually are we looking to build capabilities in data and in tech? And I would imagine we absolutely do need to look at how we can support healthcare professionals to learn those two different skill sets. Because I believe that by using data and tech more effectively, you can perhaps even enhance scientific knowledge at the point of which you really need it, by having that maybe information in an instant through whatever it is the device you try and use. So I definitely think that's critical.
I think that these new technologies, this big data, we absolutely need. I would agree very much with David. We need I think the new healthcare professional needs analytics, they need capability. But I think also it's more to the move that actually doctors maybe are not going to be the sole providers of health, and it goes toward this more federated system where actually what you will have are these large multidisciplinary teams, and you may have a data specialist whose job is to do some of that analysis and then can talk to the doctor and talk to the nurse practitioner and talk to the physiotherapist or the occupational health and do that combined health, because we will move to much more personalised medicine. And I'm not talking precision medicine around oncology, I'm literally talking personalised medicine pathways where you will need specialist capabilities, and whether or not that needs to be solely held by the doctor, I don't personally believe that's the case. I think we need to embed better data capabilities and analytics within the NHS as a whole.
At the other end of the scale, from the innovative startups coming through, and clearly we've got an awful lot of the really big players keeping a close eye on health and looking to see what they can do there. And it's the likes of the Apples and the Googles, IBM and so on. Are there things that healthcare can learn from companies about those kind of companies? And why do you think they seem to be proving particularly well placed to move into healthcare?
The Apple Google thing to me is just a great example of how easy they have made it to interact with their platforms, and there's power in the data they collect as a result of it. And I think they've created an expectation that if they put something out in health, it will also be easy and it will also work. And I think those kinds of value propositions for patients are very powerful. And that is why I think they can enter the space. And I think I look at it from a pharmaceutical perspective. I don't think they're going to start creating medicines, but there is a power in the services that go alongside medicines as well. I think that's going to be more and more a play. I don't expect to compete with them from our industry perspective, but I do think that they're going to continue to drive our thinking about what we should be doing with the people who are our patients.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we can't compete with the likes of Google and Apple, because we're so bogged down in these old systems where, I don't even have a standardized curriculum with any kind of technology implemented to even deliver the course. So how can we even think beyond that and think of implementing these huge systems? Because, we talked about this lack of infrastructure across the hospitals. There's so many different systems at play. So there's that technical barrier that exists already, but then there's those other barriers of every CCG is separate. You can't nationally scale something. So there are lots of these other barriers that mean we can't really, we can't even compete with the likes of these.
Mm-hmm. I mean, looking at the barriers, and if we're looking to see how might we drive greater innovation within healthcare, what do you think could be the drivers for that, trying to overcome some of these barriers that are in place?
I think we need to first, if we're looking at the NHS itself, we need a national system in place whereby there is some kind of easy way for top-down implementation, but also to recognise bottom-up. Stephanie mentioned any small change that you want to make is impossible, and no doctor who's already overstretched has the time and the energy to keep pushing something so small to take so far down the line for to try and get one small change. So we need systems and processes in place, and the NHS Innovation Accelerator looks at that. You're giving time and space to people to really innovate and bring change, and that's what we need to grow across the whole NHS. And you need to engage junior doctors and medical students. We need to change the curriculum. We need to integrate things, like Dr. Ahmed said, whereby you're engaging students from a young age to look at these things, whereby you're equipping them with the skills to make change if they want to. And it's the same with the junior doctors. There are very few processes in place whereby if you want to change something, you have the power to do so, because there's so much bureaucracy at play.
Yeah, I mean, I have a slightly different experience in the sense of that I feel so many junior doctors have ideas and are pushing them. As in, I mean, just talking about doctorpreneurs, and I have my LinkedIn every week. I have like 1 or 2 emails from someone who says, I've got this app, I've got this idea, what do I do, blah, blah, blah. I think doctors are so versatile, and I wouldn't be worried about having to train them to have the ideas or to push them because they're so passionate and they're disciplined and driven. It's more about how do we implement, how do we help them to get these ideas into implementation.
And I think if you look at various industries that have been quite rapidly changed, disrupted through technology, it's unquestionably easier to change those industries very quickly. Look at the taxi industry and Uber, for example, and I don't know, fast food and doing everything via your app now, not phoning your local pizzeria or whatever. It's just much, much harder in healthcare, and I think however fantastic the technologies and however enthused and smart the doctors, not everything can be done within the existing systems. Technology, but trying to plug it into the existing system and the way things are currently done probably won't have anywhere near the impact it could have if you were able to somehow create a new way of doing things outside of the existing system, and that has its own set of challenges, of course. But I don't think just plugging technology into the existing system and the way things are currently done is going to have a rapid impact and change things the way we'd like things to be changed quickly.
Do you think there's, this is just musing an idea now, but is there something in the training for young healthcare professionals where it is about formulating business cases? Because there's a lot of the times when you're trying to implement something, even if it's an existing technology or a treatment, where it's the cost-benefit analysis. And I don't know how many of the students, when they email you with ideas, you know, they could have had the most crazy idea, but is it actually viable? And how will it make a difference? And so if we are talking about, you know, doctorpreneurs, you know, that's not, it's more than just having necessarily an idea. It's about being able to pitch that thing and make it work in the same way as the guys at Touch Surgery did. You know, and I wonder whether that's almost part of the expertise that needs to be built for MHCPs.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that, you know, I think we need to integrate in the curriculum. We need to become part of the training, because like you said, you don't need, you know, doctors are great, they don't need to be taught how to have an idea and how to, you know, really think it through, but what they do need to be taught is the reality of like its implementation. There needs to be somewhere they can go where they can pitch this idea, however good or bad, and get a realistic view on it, but also there needs to be a system in place whereby they go, okay, well this works, and you know, it makes sense because it's cost effective as well. We are going to do something about it, because so many doctors nowadays will have great ideas, and because there's no one else to pick anything up, they go, okay, well, I'm at this crossroad now where I can either continue and just forget about this, or I have to take this on and I have to go full time with it and I have to quit clinical training, because there's no one there to receive these ideas at the moment. That's why we need these little tech hubs across trusts and across hospitals that are, you know, equipped with people and skills to take these things forward.